Alright, so the Archie Sonic comics. If you grew up in the early 2000s, you probably remember the Sonic Archie comics. It's a comic series that ran for a very long time and it ended in I think in the middle late 2000s. It ran for a very long time, since the 90s. Anyways, when that was ongoing, the Sonic Archie comics was going, they had a lot of controversies. It revolved around I think artists and other problems. And today I want to talk about the Sega mandates for the Archie Sonic comics. Alright, these are the things that they give the people who work on Archie Sonic to go by, in order to make the comics. These are restrictions, what they can't do. So let's go over the list. Alright, so the first one, game characters cannot have relatives unless they were established in the game canon. So if you read the comics, you would know that there is a lot of relative characters created. There's a lot of relative characters created in the Archie Sonic comics, so they can expand the Sonic universe a little bit in the lore. So if they can add relative characters to Sonic characters, then that will erase a lot of characters that were in the Sonic Archie comics, Uncle Chuck, Bernadette, Sonic's mom, and basically probably the whole timeline where Sonic married Sally Acorn. They had kids too, named Sonia and Manic. They'll probably erase that whole timeline right there. It would erase a lot of side characters that they made to be related to Sonic characters, even Tails' parents. So if you read the Archie Sonic comics, you will be familiar with half of the family members that they created for certain Sonic characters. The next one, game characters cannot die. Okay, so I read a few Archie Sonic comics and I've never seen Sonic die inside of a comic. I don't think I've read that many Archie comics to know if he died or not inside of the Archie Sonic series, but I did see him go through a bunch of battles and stuff and end up winning in the end. So I ain't seen nothing too explicit, but it wouldn't make a lot of sense if a character died in a Sonic comic, but it would be interesting to see. It would be exciting and interesting to see. So that's just kind of that's a letdown a little bit. I mean, they can't win every battle, and plus it ain't got if a Sonic character dies inside the Archie comic series, we won't take it seriously. It's just like a what if situation, Okay, so the next one, game characters cannot have wardrobe changes unless approved. Okay, so that means that the Sonic characters, the female characters, probably can't have the female characters cannot have wardrobe changes at all. Most of the time female characters wear a lot of clothes, and then unless it's approved, you gotta get it approved through Sega. I know how long that takes anyways. But that does kill the fun for the comics too, because we kind of want to see characters in different clothing, and if you can't do that or get a chance to have fun with certain stuff, then that kind of kills the creativity of the writers and the artists who work on the Sonic Archie comics. So that's kind of a freaking that's disappointing. Here's an infamous one that people are familiar with. Sonic can't be shown getting too emotional. Okay, so they got this thing where Sonic cannot be shown crying because they don't want him to, like, I don't know, I guess he ruins the character if they show him crying and stuff. But it's this thing where it's some art of Sonic and he's crying, and then like they had to edit it or something. It's like edited versions of images of Sonic crying from the Archie Sonic comics, and it's just like they had to change it up in order for it to be approved. And this kind of sucks, you know. This is just it's very unfortunate, and it probably was time consuming, and they probably was like, they probably weren't pleased about this either, because getting rid of ways to show characters expressing their feelings, it kind of doesn't make like certain situations more like exciting at all when reading the comics. I mean, it ain't nothing wrong with it, but then again, I think this is kind of a crazy, ridiculous mandate. It's so crazy. He can't cry, so he just be sad. I think he can't cry. Like, seriously. And plus, this, I don't even think the Archie Sonic comics is considered canon. Why he can't cry inside of a freaking comic? It's not connected to the video games that much most of the time anyway, so what difference does it make? But it might break Sonic character according to Sega, so oh well. Okay, it says, the next one says, game characters cannot enter in a relationship. Okay, so this probably was enforced due to the fact that Archie Sonic comics has too many characters that all, like, they end up in a relationship. Sonic had a lot of girlfriends inside the Sonic Archie comics. I think Fiona, Sally, and then it was more. Amy too, but there was more. There was a lot of them. Tails had a girlfriend too, and there was a lot of characters in relationships, and Knuckles and Julius too. They probably get tired of how these characters like always inside of a freaking romance situation and stuff, or they get tired of that and they're making a bunch of romance stories. I said that. Sorry, I probably said that twice, but they probably get tired of seeing that over and over and over again. And when it comes to Archie Sonic comics, and when it comes to Archie in general, they like to have these romance stories 1,000 times. The only way they can change it up is they add a new character, or they in a totally different situation most of the time. But this was common all the time. I mean, it ain't nothing wrong with doing like stories with characters interacting that don't interact all the time. It ain't nothing wrong with that. With romance stories all the time, you get the same thing over and over, you know. So I mean, this does kind of kill the fun for the Archie Sonic comics, but then again, it kind of benefits due to the fact that they can write more serious stories than relying on writing stories about characters inside of a relationship all the time. So it's a disadvantage, and then it's an advantage. All major character development must be approved. Oh my god. Imagine writing a story about a character going through like a bunch of stuff, and then they work their way up, and the character goes through a change, and it grows, but it must be approved in order to, like, I guess, it be a part of the story. So character development must be approved, and that's weird. Why must that be approved? Okay, the word MOBAs. I think that's how you pronounce it. The word MOBAs is banned. MOBAs is a common it's a common thing that you occur or hear about all the time within the Archie Sonic comics universe. It's like a it's like, okay, so it's like a universe within the Sonic Archie comic series. It's like where all the Sonic characters reside in. And so they banned it, I guess, from them talking about this world due to the fact that it's in a lot of comics that the Archie Sonic people wrote, the artists and writers wrote. But I guess like it's banned now. They don't want them talking about it anymore because it's so many freaking comics and stuff. They want the Archie Sonic comics to connect with the video game universe as well. Sonic must always win at the end, even if he and his friends are at the losing end in an overarching story. They must come out on top when it concludes, so Sonic and his friends are supposed to always win. I mean, I've seen a few series in Archie Sonic comics where it's a different universe. It's like a bad universe. Then you have one where Sonic, I don't know, Sonic dies or something like that. Now, if you read these Sonic Archie comics, you will know that most of the time in these fights, they don't always win at all. Cause I've seen a few of them. Sometimes they end up getting kidnapped. Sometimes they end up being turned into robots by Eggman. It's so many outcomes that they usually have when stuff like that occurs. Male characters, except Eggman can't wear pants. Okay. Yep, because I've seen a lot of background characters in the Archie Sonic comics. They wear clothes and they wear pants too, so I don't know how they can work around this. I really don't. How did they work around this? I'm just as confused as everybody else. There is no money in Sonic's world. I don't think I ever saw money being used in the Archie Sonic comics. But I didn't read that many Sonic Archie comics to know that they were using money to make, I guess, to get things and profit. Some people profit from it, I guess. So there's no money. Maybe they trade stuff to get the stuff that they need. Knuckles is not allowed to leave Angel Island unless he has a very good reason to. In most of the Sonic Archie comics, Knuckles is not. I don't think he is on Angel Island, but like sometimes he's hanging out with Sonic and Tails and other characters. So that does make a lot of sense. Like, why would he be at a certain place just hanging around when he's supposed to be watching the Emerald, the Master Emerald? So it gotta be something important because he's guarding the Emerald. Okay, so Sega is against Team Dark. It says Team Dark is no longer a thing, so that team from Sonic Heroes. And it makes a lot of sense because Sonic Heroes was decades ago. Why is they still using Team Dark? But then again, you can still use it due to the fact that it probably is set in a different universe, probably set in the same universe as Sonic Heroes, I guess, or it's just set in the past. But why is they still using it when Sonic Heroes, it was just like a thing decades ago? And it makes a lot of sense that it's not a thing. It probably was temporary for them to team up. Just like how Sonic goes solo sometimes when he goes on adventures. So why would they still be a like team? But then again, it's nice for them to go back and pay homage to old Sonic stuff. So it does make a lot of sense to bring back Team Dark in certain comics, I guess. Only male hedgehogs are allowed to go super with the Chaos Emeralds. It makes a lot of sense, because what other characters can transform into super other than Sonic, Shadow, and Silver? You do have tails, but I guess that's not common to see all the time. So this makes a lot of sense. But it would be cool to see other characters transform into a super form other than Sonic, Shadow, and Silver. But you know, that's the most common thing you'll see in Sonic when it comes to super transformations is hedgehogs. Male hedgehogs transforming. Sega is generally against new characters being modeled after insects or large animals. Wow. I remember when Archie Sonic made a Tasmanian character. He looked kind of like a monster. He was real big. It probably was against him and other things too, because they did make a lot of characters based on books. I think they did have a butterfly character. Yeah. So the insects does they kind of stand out in the Sonic universe due to the fact that most of the Sonic characters are like mammals. They're small animals. When it comes to adding insects to the Sonic universe, it kind of doesn't work. But then again, you have Charmy, and he's a bee, and he's an insect. I don't know how to explain this, but the large animal thing, when it comes to large animals, wasn't Big a large character too? And the insects, I don't know, maybe they just want Charmy to be the only insect, and maybe they just want Big to be the only big character, or be the only character that's considered big when it comes to Sonic characters. I don't know. Shadow's characterization is written in a specific way because Sega mandating that he be written as an overconfident rival character. Okay, so everything is strict, even Shadow's like personality and stuff is strict. They want to follow a specific formula, so they put out all these mandates for Archie comics to follow when making Sonic comics. I mean, I guess this will make it a little bit more better and like be more like the Sonic official media, and it won't be all over the place, and it won't be too wacky like they were so used to. They used to add out these weird formats when it came to the Archie Sonic comics. So this is kind of an improvement. It's kind of a disadvantage too. There's a lot of stuff that's a disadvantage on this list. The disadvantages, I would say, would be character development needs to be improved. That's a disadvantage. The wardrobe change is a disadvantage. Sonic must always win. That's a disadvantage. Always win at the end. That's a disadvantage. Because I ain't got nothing against Sonic always winning, but you can't win them all. You know, sometimes you just can't win them all. The male characters can't wear pants except Eggman. That's a disadvantage. Okay. And the word Mobius. Yeah, Mobius. That's kind of a disadvantage too. Maybe Mobius can't just exist inside of the Sonic Archie comics universe, and you gotta be banned. Yeah, banned word. Was kind of foolish to ban a little bit, but I don't know. It's up to Sega, and they put all this stuff out for Archie Sonic comics team to follow, so I guess they know what they're doing and what they want made and to be put out into the Archie Sonic comic universe. So I guess they know what they're going for and looking for when it comes to the when displaying Sonic inside of the Archie Sonic comics. So that's Sega. But this is very eye-opening. I did hear about this because I came across an image of Sonic being edited when it was talking about how he can't show emotions and he can't cry. I came across the image of that many years ago. We'll find out more about these mandates. It is an eye-opener, you know. But that's all the mandates I could find, and I read off of this list. But let me know what you think about this. Do you think they were being too rough on the Archie Sonic comics writers and artists? Do you or do you not agree with Sega? And like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time in the next video.